Dear students of 3rd secondary, welcome to our English program. Today we are going to introduce a new unit, but before we get started, let me welcome my dear colleague, Miss Caroline. Hello.
Hello, my dear Miss Germain. How are you doing, my dear students? We're happy to be meeting you back again on our program for today. Please be with us. We have a lot to introduce. We have a unit that includes a lot of definitions. We have more of vocabulary exercises to have. Not only that, as usual, as you know, we have more of grammar to produce for you, and we have more explanation that we're going to present together. Also, we're going to have more of stuff of choose the correct answer and more of find the mistakes. Please be with us and let's start.
The history of paper.
In ancient Egypt, papyrus was used for writing and drawing on. Before it could be used, the leaves of the grass were soaked in water, pressed together, and then dried in the sun.
The first real paper was made by the Chinese 2,000 years ago. At first, paper was very expensive because it was made from cotton, but later it was produced from wood and so became much cheaper.
To make paper from wood, logs are broken into small pieces which are then mixed with chemicals and bleached. Every year, millions of trees are cut down to make new paper.
Now, encyclopedias and other books can be put onto CD-ROMs. Many people think that we will get all our information from the internet or from CD-ROMs.
They believe that public libraries will no longer be needed and that printing will become part of history. Let's now start some of the definitions of the new vocabulary.
Available. If something is available, you can get it, buy it, or use it.
Gadget. A small tool or machine that helps you do something.
Bleach. To make something white or lighter in color by using chemicals or sunlight.
Encyclopedia. A large book that contains information about many subjects.
Recycle. To put used objects or materials together through a process so that they can be used again.
Soak. To cover something with liquid for a period of time.
Language notes. Soak, dissolve, melt. احنا دلوقتي عندنا 3 كلمات مهمين لازم ناخد بالنا منهم. soak يعني ينقع حاجة في مية. أما dissolve يعني يدوب وmelt يسيح. Through the following examples هنقدر نعرف الفروق في المعنى. dissolve يعني أنا بدوب حاجة. لكن الميلت يعني الحاجة من تلقاء نفسها هي بتدوب. زي ما أقول أنا هدوب قرص دواء في مية. I dissolve it. أما melt هو لو أنا سبت قطعة تلج أو سبت آيس كريم مثلا في الأوضة أو في بره التلاجة وسبتها شوية هلاقي إنه الآيس كريم أو الآيس من تلقاء نفسه حصل له melting. Let's go through the examples.
She soaked the shirt in soapy water to be easily cleaned. Sugar dissolves quickly if it's mixed with hot water. When the sun had risen, the ice on the lake was beginning to melt.
You'd better plus infinitive. I'd rather plus infinitive.
Well, what's the difference between both words? As you can see, you'd better means يفضل ليك. It's better for you to do this. I'd rather معناها أنا يفضل ليا إني أعمل ده. يبقى الفرق ما بينهم الاتنين فيها أفضلية. It's better to do this. من الأفضل في preference. So as we said, when I say you'd better معناها أنا I'm giving advice to you to do something. لكن I'd rather يعني أنا اللي بقول لنفسي، أنا أفضل لنفسي إن أنا أعمل كده. ف this is the use of them. طبعا both of them are to be followed by infinitive. لسه هنشوف examples تانية على ازاي ممكن نكمل بكلمة than، بس خلينا دلوقتي نشوف الفرق ما بينهم.
طب مدام كارولين، if أنا in the situation of asking for advice, I want you to give me a piece of advice. I want you to advise me.
Exactly.
Which expression are you going to give me this advice in?
Of course, we're going to tell you you'd better do this. لأنه أنا بنصحك. I'm giving advice now, so I'm going to say you'd better do that, which is going to be used in the coming examples. Let's see the examples together. They are going to clarify more what we're speaking about.
You'd had better start saving to buy this car. would rather go to the cinema tonight.
نخلي بالنا إنه you'd better دي had better، إنما I'd rather دي would rather. ما نخلطش ما بين الاتنين. had better and would rather.
Would rather plus infinitive. I'd rather play tennis than watch TV. هنا هنلاقي ظهور كلمة than، وthan هنا معناها إني بختار بين حاجتين. أنا بقول أو بشرح بالإكسبريشن ده إن أنا بفضل إني أعمل الحاجة الفلانية عن إن أنا أعمل الحاجة التانية. I'd rather play tennis than watch TV. وزي ما قلنا من دقيقة إنه دايما الإكسبريشن بتاع would rather أو had better لازم يكون followed by the verb in the infinitive من غير to. إحنا بنقول إنه الverb في الانفينيتيف، لكن الانفينيتيف ده without to. الverb في البير infinitive، يعني infinitive without to.
حتى even after than it's only infinitive, no to. Would prefer to plus infinitive, then rather than and infinitive. Let's see the example. I'd prefer to play tennis rather than watch TV. Back again, I would prefer أنا بفضل to and then play in the infinitive rather than برضو followed by infinitive.
Choose the correct answer.
My mother has a special space for cutting vegetables. Budget, bracelet, scissors, gadget. Of course she has a special gadget، يعني tool معينة أنت بتستعملها علشان تقدر to cut the vegetables.
Ahmed is really space about his university course. He can't wait for the beginning of the term. Enthusiastic, brave, frustrated, disappointed. The right answer is enthusiastic. Enthusiastic معناها متحمس، وواضح طبعا من الإكسبريشن اللي في الجملة التانية. He can't wait يعني مش قادر يستنى.
This novel is not space as an e-book yet, but you'll be able to get it next year. Capable, changeable, available, predictable. So this novel is not available, غير متوفرة in the e-book.
Before you can cook these beans, you have to them for 3 hours. Bleach, dry, polish, soak. So the right answer is soak. الفرق بين bleach و dry و polish و soak. bleach اللي هو التبييض، يعني أحط مادة كلور مثلا على حاجة عشان أفتح لونها أبيضها. dry أنشف، polish أدهن، أما soak يعني أنقع.
In the future, more electricity will be space from wind power. Generated, born, done, performed. Of course, in the future, electricity will be generated. ستولد الطاقة.
Books will be good, space the environment. At 2 in 4. The right answer is good for the environment.
The story is an interesting space of fact and fiction. Encyclopedia, mixture, impression, or brochure. So the story is an interesting mixture of fact and fiction.
To space is to make something white by using chemicals. To breach, bleach, benefit, bleed. The right answer is bleach.
Find the mistake in each of these sentences, then write them correctly. يلا احنا we need all the people in front of us to answer before the answer appears.
Plans are drawn to induce traffic in the city center. Plans are drawn to reduce traffic in the city center. Reduce يعني تقلل.
Some housewives like to seek white clothes in detergents before washing them. طبعا to seek غلط لكن it's going to be to soak in white clothes in detergents. والdetergents هي كل المواد اللي بتنظف أو تبيض.
A budget is a small tool or device that does something useful. A gadget is a small tool or device that does something useful. الفرق بين gadget و budget إن البادجت هي الميزانية.
Lifeboats are used to save people from drowning. We heard the right answer now. Bravo. It's used to save people from drowning.
Most best buyers will be read as ebooks in the future. Most best sellers will be read as ebooks in the future.
Grammar. Today in the grammar we have the future passive. As you remember, in the past we spoke in many episodes before about the tenses. We spoke about different tenses like the present, we spoke about the present continuous and other tenses to have. Today we're going to have the future. Future معناه المستقبل. مش بس هناخد الفيوتشر in the active form, but we're gonna have it also in the passive form. قلنا قبل كده انه الاكتيف فورم هي المبني للمعلوم لكن the passive form is المبني للمجهول. The future is different in different forms. يعني أنا ممكن أستعمل future زي ما قلنا either will plus infinitive أو بيبقى ليه استعمال تاني إني أستعمل going to plus infinitive وده بتكلم فيه في حاجات planned in the future أو بيبقى الفورم of present continuous اللي هي I am doing this tomorrow وده برضو بيستعمل الفيوتشر. Different uses and different forms بس كله they all mean the future tense. Let's today look together at the future form that we're going to have and also how can we use it in the active and the passive forms as well.
Subject plus will plus infinitive. To predict an action or event in the future. I will travel to London next year. I think the weather will be fine tomorrow. ده الفيوتشر بwill.
Keywords. Next week or month or year. Soon, tomorrow, in the future, I'm sure, I think, I predict, or this year, or this week, or probably, or I expect.
In the passive voice, subject plus will be plus past participle plus by and the rest of the sentence. He will write the essay tomorrow. The essay will be written tomorrow. في حلقات سابقة لينا سبق وتكلمنا عن الفرق بين الأكتف والباسيف وقلنا إنه الأكتف معناها إنه السنتنس اوردر ماشي subject verb object. أما في حالة الأكتف أنا بحط الأوبجكت في البداية بحط verb to be وبعدين بحط المين فيرب اللي جالي في الجملة الأولانية في الباست participle، وبعدين بحط السبجكت. الجملة هنا بتقول he will write the essay. he اللي هو السبجكت الفاعل، will write هو الفيرب، the essay هو الأوبجكت هو المفعول به. أنا عشان أحول الجملة هنا للباسيف محتاج أضيف verb to be. فهعمل إيه؟ هبتدي ب the essay وهحط will وأحط وراها verb to be. إحنا أخدنا قبل كده إن الموديل verbs زي will وكان وmay، الموديل verbs بيجي دايما وراهم الفيرب في الانفينيتيف، عشان كده هقول will be. وبعدين المين فيرب اللي هو write هينزل تحت written اللي هو في الباست participle form. تعالوا نشوف السنتنس تاني.
Now we're going to move to the future perfect tense. As we said before, we have different forms of future. اللي اتكلمنا عليه كله اللي فات كان future simple. طب what is the future perfect? As you can see, the future perfect يعني حاجة في المستقبل we are going to reach المستقبل وبعدين تكون خلصت. بمعنى إن أنا في الفيوتشر لما هوصل له في الزمن ده هيكون هذا الحدث انتهى. ليه استخدامات كتير. It has different keywords that we're going to know. Even the way that we write it is different. Let's see together how can we write it, the examples that I'm going to show, and also how we can put it in the passive form. So subject plus will have plus past participle. This is to predict something which will be finished by a particular time in the future.
Keywords: by this time next week, next month, by the end of this month, year, in 2 years' time.
As you can see, the keywords include by and in. Let's see the example. By 2050, electric cars will have replaced petrol cars. احنا لسه ما وصلناش 2050. يبقى لما نوصل 2050 electric cars will have replaced. Let's check the form again. Will have plus the past participle. This is active, of course. Let's see how can we change it to passive. By 2050, petrol cars will have been replaced by electric cars. كل اللي بنعمله will have ما بتتغيرش والpast participle ما بيتغيرش. كل اللي بنعمله ان احنا between will have والverb بتاعي هستعمل been، وبالطريقه دي ابقى غيرته from active to passive. المعنى اتغير والform كمان اتغير، وطبيعي لازم هنقلب السبجكت هيجي مكان الobject and the object will replace the subject like what Ms. Germain has just explained. That's passive.
Note: I will have read this novel by next Friday. I will read this novel next Friday. The meaning is very clearly illustrated here. I will read this novel next Friday. I will have read this novel by next Friday. واحدة بتقول إن أنا لسه هعمل الحاجة، لكن التانية بتقول إني بحلول يوم الجمعة هكون انتهيت من قراية النوفل.
Choose the correct answer. What changes space by 2060? Will be making, will have been made, will make, or will have been making. طبعا ال changes هي ال object بتاعنا. يبقى what changes will have been made by 2060. Passive form of the future perfect.
Marwa entered university in 2012. By 2015, her studies will have been completed.
I'm sure that he spaced the job properly. Will do, will be done, will have been done, or is going to be done. طبعا it's clear he is the subject. يبقى ما ينفعش أي حاجة فيها be for the passive form. يبقى letter B مش هتنفع، D مش هتنفع، ولا كمان letter C. يبقى الوحيدة اللي يمشي فيها هي will do لأنه action that will take place in the future and active as well.
Will they space the highway next month? Pave, be paved, have paved, be paving. Pave يعني يرصف. Will they pave the highway next month?
Surgeons space operations by using robots in the near future. Surgeons will perform, will have performed, will have been performed, or will be performed. Surgeons will have performed. Subject at the beginning and then the future perfect by using robots in the near future.
Find the mistake in each of these sentences, then write them correctly. My suit will be finished by next month. My suit will have been finished by next month.
Rockets carrying people will have launched to the moon by 2050. Of course, rockets carrying people will have been launched لأنه هم اللي هيقع عليهم الحدث مش هم اللي هيعملوا الحدث وبالتالي the subject at the beginning of the sentence is already the object of the real sentence that we have.
I think Minna will have passed her next exams. I think Minna will pass her next exams.
Scientists hope they will discover alternatives for fossil fuels soon.
Petrol and oil will not be used as much as they are today. وطبعا الجملة دي في الباسيف form.
Language functions. Talking about the future. هنشوف دلوقتي استخدام future as a tense. ازاي نستعمله in the sentences اللي عندنا. ازاي نقدر نشوف language function. ازاي نقدر نعبر عن حاجات هتحصل in the future in the form of dialogues or in the form of some conversations together. Let's see the coming examples.
I think we will. I'm sure that will happen in the near future. Let's hope so.
Of course, all giving some kind of future expectations or future intentions. Mention the place, the speakers, and the language function in each of the following 2 mini dialogues.
Excuse me, can you show me the nearest pharmacy, please?
Go ahead, it's at the end of the street. The place
is the street.
Speaker A,
citizen.
Speaker B,
policeman.
And the function
asking for or giving direction.
طبعا it's clear الحدث في الشارع. السبيكر الأول مواطن والتاني is a policeman والفانكشن بتاعتنا واحد بيسأل على direction والتاني بيديله الدايركشن. دي من الحاجات المهمة جدا دايما في امتحاناتنا. We have to take care about this لأنه من صيغة الكلام we get to know فين البليس, who is the speaker, ايه language function that is used. ده كله بيجي طبعا باستعمال كتير من الاكتيفيتيز الخاصة بالاكسرسايز ده اللي عادة بعد كده بنتعود على طريقة اجابتها على طول.
Choose the correct answer from A, B, C or D.
It's important for nurses to get on with the patients. The hospital is looking for space, young people to train. Readable, searchable, sociable, or survivable. Of course, is looking for sociable.
When they are applying for a job, some people start their space with personal details. Others put their qualifications first. Of course, you write your CV when you apply for a job.
Our school is very space. The staff and students are always on time and everyone knows exactly what they have to do. Of course, they are very organized.
Our family has a well-space business. It was started by my grandfather in 1935. Attached, detached, talented, established. Established يعني يؤسس أو ينشئ.
I need some medicine. Is there a or an near here? Bakery, pharmacy, grocery, or embassy. طبعا medicine يبقى I need a pharmacy. My uncle was always space. He was always looking for a better job. Conscientious, jealous, envious, or ambitious. Of course, he was always ambitious, طموح لوجود وظيفة أحسن.
The company received over 100 CVs from interested applicants, employers, bosses, managers. The right answer is applicants.
My brother is more space than me. He gets on with everyone he meets. Ambitious, selfish, sociable, unreliable. Of course, it's more sociable.
Tim has applied space join the Navy. In, with, for, to. Tim has applied to join the Navy.
He's a very good man. He always does his work perfectly, carelessly, lazily, or suddenly. Of course, very good man. Definitely he always does his work perfectly.
Find the mistakes in each of the following sentences, then write them correctly.
After a few years, he became very scornful at drawing. Of course, scornful is a negative word. He gets very skillful at drawing.
How many jobs had you replied for before you were offered this one? Replied يعني يرد. So when you applied for the job, you apply for a job.
Mona has always been an ambiguous and hard-working manager. Of course, Mona has always been an ambitious. Ambiguous يعني حاجة مش مفهومة, لكن ambitious يعني طموح.
Do you have any experiment of working with kids? Do you have any experience?
They live in a wealthy motherhood of New York. Of course, this is wrong. They live in a wealthy district أو neighborhood of New York.
And by that exercise, dear students, we came to the end of today's episode. Hope you have enjoyed it and hope to see you very soon.
My dear students, thank you very much for being with us in this episode. We're waiting for you next time. Don't be late. We're going to be waiting for you because we have a lot of stuff to introduce also. Thank you very much and see you soon. Goodbye.